Yo, what's going on, my dudes? Today we're going over the Igneous Hammer. Igneous Hammer. I don't have the awesome accent like my wife does when she says this word, but that's okay. We're going to go over the Zen settings and check it out right here. So, I'm getting good enough that I can test these things literally in the middle of a match now. So my first time getting into a match, that's the Zen being turned off. You see it's got a bit of vertical recoil. I turned it on at 55 anti-recoil, and there was too much downward pull. I changed it, that's what my little dance right there was, to 50. So between 48 to 50 anti-recoil is what you should be looking for this particular hand cannon. I turned on full auto, and I also had the aim assist set to 21. I still can't tell you whether or not aim assist does anything, but from what I can tell, I keep it on and it makes the screen shake, and whatever, you do your thing, man. If you guys feel like it's helping and that gives you some kind of weird confidence boost, then use it. Alright, so the settings for this hand cannon and what I come to figure out. This hand cannon, the only way I can put it, it almost doesn't even matter if you're getting bad perks on it, because the 2 to 3 tap potential on it is really, really amazing. It knocks everybody out. So as I'm going through the video, this is all unedited clip, by the way. I finally got a game drive that I can record my gameplay footage and stuff for longer than 2-minute clips. What I usually do is I edit 1 to 2-minute clips and I just stitch everything together with duct tape. So what I have right here is actual gameplay footage of me going through an entire match. And this is my very first match with the hand cannon after I got it. Here are the perks that I hear that you're looking for. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter all that much. But if you can get Rampage, if you can get Killing Wind, Rapid Hit is decent, I guess, but there's not that much in the clip. I don't know, man. Outlaw. I would like Outlaw. Seriously. I found Outlaw to be one of those things that would be very helpful with this after a 2 to 3 tap headshot kill, where you can get that quick reload for the hand cannon. I know I'm a hunter and I could just dodge and reload, but I still feel like that would be useful. Okay, if you can get Rampage on this hand cannon, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with, dude. I'll basically be running away from you the entire match. So, what we're doing with the Zen, right? I found that there's 2 different things that happen. In Destiny, if you keep your anti-recoil too high, it does pull down on the actual joystick too much. The issue that I have with the joystick being so crazy high like that is that you end up pulling down when you're not in a gunfight where people are shooting back at you. But the positive that happens when you pull down so far, like let's say you put the anti-recoil to 55 instead of 50, yes, in the initial bit of the gunfight, it'll pull down too much, but then after that, what ends up happening is you get that flinch, and it helps you compensate for the flinch that happens. And that's super useful. Now, another thing that I wanted to tell you about with the hand cannon is the subclasses to use with it. I found for Hunter that the Stasis subclass, which literally matches with everything, is one of the best subclasses you can use with it, because you can stick and move. You can get in, you can get out, you can just, oh man, it makes everything so easy, because if you hit somebody once or even twice and you follow up with a shuriken, they're done. This is the modern day equivalent of what Thorn was back in D1 when it was first released, and it used to 2-tap everybody, which is wild. So, anyway, what we're looking at and what we're hoping to do with this hand cannon is make it as stable as possible for the longest range as possible. So the 2 things that I recommend you guys test out when you're testing your own settings, keep it between 50 to 55. I found that auto fire works really well with this. Now, I do understand that that is kind of a subjective thing. That is what I prefer. But you might want to take that off if you are missing too many shots. If you're missing shots and people are not missing their shots, then yeah, you're going to have some issues there, because they're going to hit the shots behind them. And then you're going to be the guy that's missing all the shots, and you're going to get in trouble because of that, because you're not hitting your shots, right? So I know that's a little bit of a weird way to put that, but you get where I'm going. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the anti-recoil. I've discussed it a little bit before, And my goal was to figure out with some of these matches how it works while you're in the air. And I've actually found that it doesn't help unless you're on the ground. So if you're jumping through the air using anti-recoil, it is something of a negative. It definitely feels as if you're hitting someone's feet as opposed to their head if you're aiming down sight steps. So I would suggest keeping your anti-recoil for this weapon on the lighter end. I know I discussed a little bit ago that if you're getting flinched, then there's a good possibility for you to basically flinch higher, not lower, into somebody as a headshot, but that's only if you're on the ground. If you are jumping through the air with this hand cannon, which I believe is part of the design of this thing and how it's supposed to be used while you're going through the air, stick and move, drop and cover, stuff like that, then you want to keep the anti-recoil on the lesser side. You want to keep it around the 48 to 50. But if you're a ground player, I know a lot of Titans like to slide and stay on the ground, this would be a good thing to use at a higher anti-recoil, because if you get shot at the same time that you are shooting, it'll flinch downward, not upward. So you're more likely to at least get a body shot instead of just, flinching off above the head where you're not getting any headshots at all, which is, that could lose you a match, right, or lose you a duel. We don't want that. All right, guys, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this hand cannon's perks. Now, the best way I can put it, if you get the right perks on this hand cannon, I believe this hand cannon is what it's supposed to feel like for the gunplay in Destiny. It's like every other gun that I've used before using this one. It just reminded me of like if I went to the gym and I worked out with a weighted vest, and then I took off that weighted vest. Everything felt super duper light. That's what it felt like to use this hand cannon. Like I had been wearing a weighted vest the entirety of my gunfights, and then I took off that weighted vest and started using this weapon, and all of a sudden, it just felt easy. It felt, I don't know, it reminded me of Luna's Howl when that first came out. The 3-tap potential with that felt so quick and easy. And it is one of those situations where you start to feel like, wow, if I'm in a pub game using this thing and the enemy does not have it, that's pretty unfair. Huh. What does that remind you guys of? Does that remind you of if you have a Zen and I won't go there. I'm sorry, I'll stop. I'm going to get off my soapbox. But if you are using this weapon and your enemy does not have it, there is a clear, and I mean super clear, disadvantage. It's kind of ridiculous. Doesn't even matter the range, because these maps are not designed with the long range in mind, So if you're using this thing at any type of range, it doesn't matter. You're just going to get that 2 to 3 tap, I don't know. The numbers add up in such a way that it just makes it super easy for you to use this thing effectively at any range, which is kind of ridiculous. I feel like they need to do something about that. So look at my first game here, man. Almost a 5.0 KD, almost. And that's my first time using it. There is another match right after this, and I am playing with a teammate. We choose to play a little bit differently when we play together in pub matches, but in the next game, you'll see us coordinate a little bit differently, and we try to play more aggressively. We wanted to really taste this thing out for a spin and use it to something of its max potential as best we could. So we started playing in engagements that I wouldn't normally feel as confident engaging in unless I was a little, more duck and cover. But what I ended up doing was getting in these engagements and following up and cleaning up. And it's really funny, as you're about to see, when you're in an engagement with somebody and they just fought somebody else and you just literally pop around the corner and go, dap, and then they're down. So I got, in this game, I must have had 5 or even 6 of them like that, where they were fighting somebody else and they won, and I literally just walked around the corner and gave them a single dap. And that was it, and that was the engagement. So it's a really funny feeling. But yeah, as you'll notice in the gameplay already, I am playing way more aggressive. I'm trying to see what this thing can do when you play aggressively. And we, as a team, we apply pressure, we move around, we counter each other, we trade in and out. This guy right here, I know he sees me. I'm keeping him down by applying pressure. I'm not moving forward. I'm just letting him know I'm here, so he has to back up so we can get the point. So there was a lot more strategy in Game 2, which is what you're looking at right here. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoy these videos. I really super appreciate your time. Thanks for trusting me with all this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I will make sure to get to them as soon as I can. And yeah, best of luck to you. I will see you all in the Crucible. Have an awesome day.
captured Zone A. You have zone advantage.